Welcome to Tabletop Topics. I'm your host, Jeff.
And of course, Jeff, guys, if you want to catch and watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the links, it'll take you directly to the episodes, and of course we have timestamps, so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. Let's jump right into it.
Yes, sir.
So to commemorate tomorrow, since we're filming today, since we're doing it live today, we can't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. So in celebration of Jason, since the 1980s, I decided to start binge watching all of his films. Since I wasn't born before that decade.
That was before your time.
Yeah, it was a decade.
Jason was terrorizing motherfuckers. What the hell?
That was a decade before my time. But also, I wanted to watch the movies, see what it was about, analyze them, because honestly, the only ones I actually remember was Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and then the revamp in 2009, and then Freddy versus Jason. So all the other films, nope, don't remember them at all. Never saw them. Never bought the trilogy. So yesterday I just decided to binge watch it, see what the whole hype was about. As part of our Halloween month, we decided to do one on Jason, Friday the 13th, because apparently every time he comes back or he appears, it's like he's pulling the Jeepers Creepers, because Jeepers Creepers comes back every 23 years.
Every 23 years, right?
But for Jason, it's every
Friday the 13th.
Every Friday the 13th.
And that's 2 times a year,
2 times
baby.
a year, yeah.
2 times a year.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, to the point where because I didn't get to finish Jason Goes to Hell, which was the 9th installment of the film. But apparently now they knew who he was.
This man was a legend.
Yeah, so he was.
This man was like a freaking god of the underworld by that point. Motherfuckers, bro, he terrorized New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's crazy.
Exactly. In Manhattan too. I was like, and I was talking to you about that. I'm like, damn, Manhattan was trashy compared to today, where all the rich folks live.
Man. Like I noticed that just to kind of veer off a little bit. Like every movie from that time, you look at it, and New York was like this cesspool
of dystopia.
Yeah, it was just dystopian, like craziness, and and that's how it was depicted in the movies.
Yeah,
and
all
shit
people
like
wanted to do is drugs, rob, steal, and rape.
And rape. That was crazy.
That was nuts.
That's crazy.
So no, but. I just wanted to catch up with the lore, see how Jason Voorhees started, see what it was, why he is the way he is, and why we're so many afraid of him, from when he started to where he came from. So if we can start off from film 1, which was funny to me because back in the day they didn't have a main protagonist.
Like a main character.
Okay. They didn't have a main character. Everybody was getting slaughtered. This was like Game of Thrones. So it's like it didn't matter who you were.
Anybody could get it.
Yeah, so me thinking, because look, the first film started off with this girl. She's walking down the road. She's like, I'm trying to make it to Camp Crystal Lake. I'm like, oh, cool. She's the main character. She pulls over, talks to a dog, does all this shit. And then she gets a ride from one of the guys from the diner. Mm-hmm. Guy's like, don't go to Camp Crystal Lake. It has bad stuff, demons, blah, blah, blah. He's like, sir, you can't believe in all that stuff. Plus, he's going to be a counselor over there. So, cool beans. Every summer, there's supposed to be a group of high school, which I'm hoping, well, they're supposed to be high school. They look like they're grown as fuck, but
whole adults,
like
motherfuckers had pension plans. Talking about we're seniors.
Shit.
Summer camp.
Yeah, man. So unfortunately, they were trying to. They get counselors every year, and it always happen. They bring them there a week so they can prepare for the kids. Mm-hmm. So it's of course the week, the day that they always come is Friday the 13th. So the first movie started off June 13th.
Like when
7 a.m.
When you gonna learn
It gave me the date.
lesson?
It gave me
Right.
the date. Well, I think
Don't they realize, like, after a period of time, like, hey, all these murders seem to happen on Friday the 13th.
Well, I think it was because it would be years that pass, no one has died, and then Jason was just starting to become a story, like a legend.
Right.
So everyone thought, oh, Jason's
dead. It was
dead.
just a serial killer type.
Exactly.
Thing.
So it's like the serial killer was killed. We don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the town got its rep, its name, people would come years later because it's not like the first and the second movie took place within a year. So of course they're like, oh, Jason Voorhees dead. So the year after, let's reopen the camp again. So film 2, a guy buys the camp for $25,000, fixes it up. Yeah, that was the cost. That's the call. That's why I remember.
For a car?
Yeah.
I just give him my Honda and you give me all
this. What are you talking
this?
about? You could buy like 3 cars with $25,000 in 1980. So.
We need to go back.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So when he bought the camp for $25,000, he's like, you heard about the rumors. Why would you reopen the camp? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, Jason Voorhees dead. It doesn't matter. We're going to reopen this camp. We're going to make it something different. So he brings in the kids. The kids. A week early before the camp opens, they have to fix all the stuff, set up the aero area, bring out the floating, what do you call that, boardwalk, so they can go out,
pier type shit,
so they can go on lake, tie it down, all that stuff like that, and they're just enjoying themselves. So there's nothing expected of it. So in the first film, Jason kills, but his mother kills more. She's the one that drove the car.
Word. Yes. He was tag teaming with his mom. That was crazy.
Yeah. So
that was crazy.
Yeah. So we kind of find out the story of what happened to him as a child. Towards the end of the film, when the last woman was left alive, trying to fight off the mom, and then that's when, because I didn't know she was the main character because they didn't make it come off as the main character. The first person they showed was a girl walking on the side of the road trying to get to the camp. Hitchhiking, yes, when it was legal and you didn't have to worry about dying.
I laughed at that part. Jason picked her up.
No, her mom did.
Her mom picked her up.
Okay. Yeah, because she was having a normal conversation with the mom, and she's like, yeah, I heard about, oh yeah, I'm going to Crystal Lake, blah, 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 this and that. And then she's like, you passed Crystal Lake. And she's like, let me out. Mom didn't let her out, so she ran and then called up to her, slit her throat. I'm wow. I thought she was the main character.
Wow.
Because she was the first person that they showed.
Yeah. So they have done that before.
So they showed her.
Right.
They showed her going to the dining hall. The guy gave her a ride, and he's like, oh, I can only stop here, but it's only 2 miles down the road. So she started walking down the road, and then that's when Voorhees' mother came, picked her up, and then started driving. And he's like, take me there. And then as soon as she got in the Jeep, she started speeding up even faster and faster past Crystal Lake, all that stuff like that. And that was the first killing. And I'm like, I thought Jason Voorhees didn't talk or drive or anything like that. So that's why I assumed it was her. It was him in the beginning. But apparently it was the mother. Because remember...
Also, they didn't even show the mom. It was just more like a...
They didn't show Voorhees. They didn't show the mom.
Gotcha.
So the mystery...
So it's just like a POV type.
Yeah. It was just like
from the killer's perspective.
Yeah. So you saw the hands real quick, and then the killing happened. But then when you saw like the long sleeves, you automatically knew it was Jason. They just never showed his face.
Right.
So kind of showing like the POVs of everything and like that, but so that was, to me, that was a good perspective to go off of. Is not even revealing who that person is, and come to find out, like everybody thinks that the mask was iconic in the first film. It wasn't. It came iconic
because they barely showed his.
Well, the first film, they didn't show his face at all.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
So I guess they didn't even know what he was supposed to look like.
No, they didn't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because I don't know when Michael Myers came out, but I'm guessing they didn't want to copy him or anything like that.
Because he had a knife.
Yeah.
He had like a giant.
So they had to find a signature type thing.
Bigger than the knife.
Yeah, basically. So, and then the second film, he had a straw bag over his one eye. Because, the other eye, his face droops.
Right,
So he can only see through one eye. So he didn't even have the mask in the second film. The third film, when they went back to Crystal Lake, is when this jokester kid had the mask, had a hockey mask, and he was just scaring the girl that he liked, but he didn't feel like that she liked him back because he was fat. To me, he was just chunky. But
this is 1980.
So in that time, you're fat.
You were.
So she's like, I like you, and he's like, no, you don't. Blah blah blah. So he walks back, slits his throat. He drops the mask on the pier. Jason picks it up. So Jason kills her, picks it up, puts it on his face, and that was it. Ever since then, he just rocked the iconic mask.
Wait, so when he put it on, did they do the?
No, they've been doing that since
the
first movie.
That's fire.
They've been doing that since the first movie.
That's fire.
Yes, sir. So, but I like the transitions from the first film all the way to when he started teleporting, because you know how people joke around and say,
how does he be teleporting? Like
Jason Voorhees teleports, and we figured out it was because of the. So when you hear he disappears.
He's disappearing.
When you hear he's reappeared. So basically, it's like when he went to Manhattan and he was watching the black kid go on top
run up them stairs.
Run up the stairs. What did he do? He just looked up,
and then right when
the kid got to the edge, he
bam,
appeared.
He was right there.
He appeared. That's what I'm saying.
He was just right there.
Where he became supernatural is, I'm guessing, is what a lot of people are asking. So,
yeah, like when did he become a freaking demonic killing machine?
Yeah.
When did he become Hercules?
And in number 4, so in number 3, there was a kid involved. The kid ended up chopping Jason to death.
How did the kid beat Jason?
Because Jason doesn't kill kids.
Wait, what?
He doesn't.
So even while the kid is like hacking them to pieces.
Well, before then. So what the kid did was he was like a what do you call those artists that can create those prosthetic masks? He was like one of those. He was like one of those Halloween artists that can create like the realistic.
Like a makeup artist.
Like a makeup artist.
Okay, I got you. Like a special effects artist.
Like a special, yeah. Right. Like at 10 years old, he was creating. At 10 years old, he was creating these masks, and of course. In order to distract Jason, he basically towards the end of the film, so he can save his sister, shaved his head, put on like a little bit of lumps on his head to make it look like, and then Jason stopped and looked at him because he was seeing like a kid image of himself. And when he had the opportunity, and he was like, Tommy, run! Jason turned around, went after the sister, and that's when Tommy took the machete and right in the back of the head. And then when he saw Jason's fingertips still moving, he just started chopping him. So that left him traumatized. Jeez. And then that takes place in the next movie where he's an adult going through the psychiatric stuff, all that stuff like that. And then he doesn't know if he's crazy or not. And then apparently they said that was the best film, film number 5. Because it wasn't actually Jason. Jason was really dead.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So when he went to a loony bin near Crystal Lakes, and then apparently there was these self-help need kids that weren't all there, so they were there to make them productive members of society, which brought there was one of them that wasn't mentally there. He went to talk to one of the dude that was chopping wood with an axe, but he has anger issues, so he got so pissed off he started axing him on the back and then chopped off his arm, got arrested, and then he realized because I know. Yeah.
Jeez.
So when he realized nobody was paying attention, come to find out it was the paramedic at the end of the film that was pretending to be
Jason.
Jason.
Did he get in the whole fit?
Yes, the whole fit. He wore the prosthetic mask, all that stuff like that.
Why? I don't understand.
Because he said it was he read about the Crystal Lake murders and and he read about Miss Voorhees and how she was killing people because they let her son drown because of the whole sex thing. So he decided to say, I can use Jason as a prop to murder these kids because they're the reasons why my son died.
Not them. Like,
that's how he put it.
That's crazy.
That's how he put it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So because of them, because of them,
No,
yeah,
man.
But one thing that I was analyzing when I was watching the movie, and you're gonna laugh because it's like from movie one, and I get it, they're horny
to the end of time. From the first movie to the end of time,
I mean,
bro.
do you want to explain what the mom said and why Jason does what he does?
Dog, that's crazy. So pretty much, from my understanding, Jason's hacking motherfuckers up. You know, specifically when they're engaging in intercourse.
Yes.
When they fucking.
You what?
You know what I'm saying? He be fucking niggas up while they fucking.
Oh, shit.
Because when this dude was drowning and calling for help to the camp counselors, they turned around and looked at him and was fucking while this boy died. That's
and that's basically what Miss Voorhees got from it. So they it seems like in this film, in all the films, and I think the only reason why they made it rated R, I don't think it was because of the killing. I more think it was because of the nudity. But that's literally what everyone.
Literally, the movie was just
that was the premise.
Murder and like
having sex.
That
was literally the premise of the film. So when I got to film number 5, I'm like, oh great,
oh, man.
I wonder what they're gonna do now.
It's like, what a surprise! Every single time I'm in the distance, like I'm on my phone or something, and I just hear in the background, what a surprise! They're having sex.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I had to because I'm like, bro,
really? and I would hear it like 5 to 8 times per movie.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah,
bro.
That's
crazy. Is
like,
that what moves the plot along?
I think so. And what I've noticed too is they love getting naked for some reason, and I'm like, did they pay them to just do that? Is that because?
That's tough.
Because if you're watching it, I haven't seen these actors.
I've never seen
in any other movies. Right. Moving forward, whether it be from the 90s to the early 2000s to the 15s.
That's kind of tough. They probably thought they were going to get like a breakout role or something.
No, showing your boobs doesn't get you a breakout role.
Naked.
Yeah, because I don't know any of the only person I realized, the only person I recognized from the first film was Kevin Bacon.
I feel that.
He was the only one that got a breakout role.
Did he live? Like,
no.
How long did he live in the movie?
We were 45 minutes in before Jason killed him.
Oh wow!
Yep. Remember, I called you because I said, look at the fake prosthetic.
His head, they cut a hole through the mattress and told him to stick his head through the hole.
Yep, and he probably used it. Yeah,
a fake body. Yeah, and then they used it to murder him.
Yes. Yeah.
That was funny. That was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every single time it was just like I didn't. That's why sometimes I would lose the plot. I'd be like, I don't understand why is this happening. Mm-hmm. But like they just need to move the plot along.
They do.
Right.
They do need to
They just need to lead it to the next sex scene so Jason can come in.
And kind of move the plot along.
Right.
Yes, so from film 1, 2, and 3, they had no main character. Right. Then 4, 5, and 6, they started having main character. They focused on that one person that you knew was gonna live. And I think the biggest thing was I like the fact that they didn't have a main character because it kept you guessing on who might live and who might die. You see?
I feel that.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I show you somebody at the beginning of a film, like the story's focused on them, they're showing them at their home. See, Scream did a perfect job. They showed, hello, Sydney, blah, 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 this and that, beginning of the movie. Because you thought the Drew Barrymore from the first film, you thought she was going to be the main character, this and that. They're talking to her. No, she was the first murder before the murder started.
Before the murder started.
Then you figure out.
She was patient 0.
Yes, exactly. Let me test this on you. If it works, then I will continue to murder everybody else. But that's how it was. Like 1, 2, and 3, it kept me guessing because I'm like, I don't know who's going to survive because all these people are showing up and they're not specifically focusing on somebody. There's no background story. There's no nothing. Because like I said, in the first film, I thought it was that girl that was walking alongside the road because they showed her for the first...
Like they focused on her.
For the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie. But she died before she even reached the camp. So I was like, okay. Then they showed all these counselor students there. And I'm like, okay, who... They showed the main counselor. Then they showed the girl that came in late in the red buggy car. And then I'm like, okay, he's the main character. He ends up dying. And I'm like, Okay, who's the main character?
Everyone's gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
I guess everyone's just gonna die.
Well, from every film, only one person survived.
Right.
So that's what we've learned.
But it wasn't the whole virgin trope, right?
No, none of the.
When did that start coming into like fruition? Where it was just like, you know, the jock and, you know, the
what movies were those? Because from what I was watching, that wasn't it. Because it was literally anybody.
Like slasher films.
Yeah, because remember the last one that you watched with me when we were at Mom's house, was that movie guy. Like he would explain movies. He was writing scripts. He was a nerd.
Right.
And then there was that popular chick that was using them. And then of course there was the guy that was setting up the birthday party for his cousin Michael, but Michael ended up dying because Jason killed them before they even got there. And for some reason, 1990s cars are pieces of shit because they all seem to be dying on the side of the road. So,
oh, dude, cars back in the day were absolute shit.
Yeah.
What the heck?
No, probably because of the.
They were just sardine cans with bombs built into them.
Is that why the police car blew up when they
hit
the...
for no reason. Michael Bay showed me how shit.
Oh shit!
In the 90s.
Nah, man, it was nuts. It was nuts. And then three things I noticed that they did repeats in all the films was sex. The cat that jumps out of nowhere.
A black cat?
No, there was random different colored
just
cats.
random
cat. That jumped out of nowhere.
Just random ass cats. Oh
random
man,
ass cats. So
random ass cats.
Random ass cats that jump out of nowhere. What was the third trope? I said those three.
Some random person, just I don't know.
What? It's just what it is. Hey, what's up, Vic? How's it going?
Hey, Vic, what's good, man?
No, so it was just like I said, it was just some. It was what did I say? Sex. Random cats jumping out of nowhere, and of course they tried to do the jump scare. But it's like every time you heard you already knew he was coming.
He was coming.
Yeah. So,
but like. My question is, do they hear it?
They don't.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
oh yes. Oh, and the lack of self-awareness. Like when people were doing things, they didn't pay attention to their surroundings at all.
At all.
Like when one person was dancing when Tommy grew up and he didn't know if Jason was real or not. When Tommy grew up, there was a girl dancing in her room, and she kept doing this weird robot dance, and she never turned around. Never. Not
really?
once.
Like no.
She just kept doing this towards the window, and I'm like, bitch, turn around. Who just dances towards the window? When somebody dances, they move their heads and turn everywhere and do all that shit like that. She refused.
Man.
Yeah, she refused to turn around and look. And then, of course, when they were on the ship heading towards Manhattan, she was pulling down the anchor. What happened?
She's just in one direction.
One direction.
No, it's like the best way I could compare this to is like back in the day with action movies when they're like fighting a group of guys. And then it's like each guy's waiting their turn
it's like
to jump in.
It's like a video game.
And get beat the fuck up. Yeah. It's like, why are you waiting around? Jump his ass. You know what I'm saying? Nope, they're just one by one running at him.
Well, it's like when we were watching that episode of Chuck Norris where each of those kids were waiting for Chuck Norris to take a swing at him. Remember what I've done today. It took damn near 2 hours to edit. I remember, sir, and I appreciate it. I'm gonna put it up after we're done. But no, man. So it's like these repetitive plot points. So like I said, the fifth film was actually the best one because it wasn't Jason at all. It was a guy pretending to be Jason.
Right.
Yeah. So when I was watching this person that was pretending to be Jason kill these people, you can tell it wasn't Jason because Jason never expresses any pain when he gets hurt. So when Tommy stabbed him with the little knife that he had at the beginning of the film on his thigh, he was on the ground doing like
writhing in pain.
Like writhing in pain. Like Jason never does that, and a small blade like that wouldn't have affected
Jason's a stoic. He's a man's man.
Yeah, exactly. He's like quiet. So when I saw him do that, I'm like, all right, clearly this isn't Jason, but it's a good plot point because this is different compared to the other ones.
Right.
And then coming to the next film, he was like, all right, he escaped the psych ward again, and then he's like, I have to make sure. So him and the woman and the black kid survived at the end of the film, and then it moved the progressive to the next one, but at the end he ended up stabbing the white woman, which is why they sent him to the psych ward because he had the mask on. So continuation with the film, they bring him on to the next one, but they changed the character because they lost the rights to Tommy Jarvis. So they changed the character. His name is still Tommy, but they did change the last name from Jarvis. So he goes to the grave. He's there to gasoline Jason, make sure he dies, and then
wait, they buried that motherfucker?
Yes, with the statue and everything. So he got everything. Okay. So he was so distraught, he started stabbing him to death. And then he's like, ugh. And then he's trying to pull out when he stabbed him to death, he finished stabbing him. He's like, lightning hits the body, electrocutes it.
Word.
But he doesn't realize he's back. So he gets down and then he starts trying to pull the metal rod out. And then Jason grabs him. And then he escapes out of the hole, and this is when we get Immortal Jason.
Oh damn!
This is where the man does not die.
The resurrection.
Yes.
What the Franken guy.
Exactly. Yes. So we get the resurrection of him, and this is where he begins. He starts to teleport, and bullets no longer affect him.
Jeez.
So.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Damn.
And this and it's weird because this one started actually strategically from that film and on strategically started taking out the lights first because I guess his powers only work in the dark or something like that. But apparently,
wait. So like the lights would just go out, or he'd
go after the electric box and break it every single time. When he went to when they went to the Crystal Lake and then there's a trailer car.
Right.
Of course, guess what they're doing again? Having sex. Does he do? He breaks off the thing. Jason gets he teleports into the car. We don't know how, We don't know how. He just gets in there, and we're just going to accept it.
That's amazing.
So they're like, all right, I see the wires. They're broken. Let's skedaddle. They get in the thing. The boyfriend starts driving, and then Jason comes out the bathroom, and then, of course, he's like, oh, this music is bumping. So, of course... He doesn't hear her.
He doesn't hear her
because he's jamming out to rock music.
Shit, word.
And then of course now Jason has acquired super strength, so he no longer needs to hack and slash you. So the man takes the girl, chokes her out in the bathroom, then takes her face and indents it in the metal.
That's crazy.
Of the trailer.
That's a violation.
Yes, he indents her face in the metal of the trailer thing.
He was machine pressing the mirror with her face. That's crazy.
Yes. And then of course, he thinks the boyfriend thinks she's taking the dump, but she's dead already. See, he's sitting there driving. He puts it up even louder, and then after that, he goes behind. He goes behind the dude and fucking just hacks that man. After that, the car flips. It bursts into flames. He stands on top of it, and that's the new Jason.
Oh, wow.
He just stands up there, and then after that...
Right, because fire doesn't affect him.
No, he's not afraid of fire. It's water that he's afraid of. Remember, Freddy's afraid of fire.
Freddy's afraid of fire.
Yeah, so so after that, he just goes into hunting mode because, of course, people are Crystal.
Well, who is he hunting? Like...
So, what I've learned is anybody who comes to... Because remember, they used to live there.
Is that like his just territory?
That was his territory. Because
Okay.
remember... He'll lay dormant, do nothing if nobody's there. But if you're there, he's going to, of course, kill you. Right. He just wants to rot in peace, I guess. I don't know. But no, that's literally what it is. So, but based off of the certain films that I've been watching, it's like the plot moves along, but it's like you're asking yourself, why do they keep bringing them back?
Why do they keep bringing Jason?
So I'm guessing they realized they made money because when I was watching it, it literally made one every single year. And then
really,
yes, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. They skipped 87, came back 88, 89, skipped 89 to 92.
I think it was for like every single
Friday the 13th.
Right. They made one for like every decade.
Gotcha.
Except for we didn't get a Jason this past decade.
No, because the Blumhouse wants to make remake. Yeah.
I know they gonna make some fucking demonic ass shit.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a 9 levels of hell backstory type shit.
Yep.
Jason was actually a demon.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? A poltergeist who needed a host or some shit. I know they're gonna do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because we already know the origin. I think it'd be nice if they like messed with it a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because again too, and that's why I believe they started introducing the supernatural. Like they said, the New Beginning. It was based off of because Carrie came out. If anybody doesn't know who Carrie is, she's the telekinetic girl that got pig's blood poured on her, and then of course she basically massacred the entire high school. She's the only one that survived.
When did that remake drop? That was like 09, right?
09.
Yeah.
That's
I
when they
remember
started
that.
making a lot of remakes. They, like I said, Freddy versus Jason. They came out with a remake of Carrie.
I still like that Halloween with Michael Myers. Who did that? Rob Zombie?
The first one.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah, and he didn't come back to finish it, so they had to pause it and then redo it again. Yeah.
No, that was
the first Halloween.
Like that would have been so freaking. That was amazing. That was a great Halloween movie.
Yeah, that was
a
that I agree with. But no, yeah, because he was already super strong.
The kids that were bullying him in the woods, and he just grabbed like the freaking log and like beat him to death. I was like, jeez, man.
Because he went from animals and then jumped into people.
Ugh.
But no, I would say the transition, because like I said with Carrie, they started to introduce telekinetic powers, and because he thought she thought that her dad was in the lake. That's what freed him.
Oh, that's the the one that I watched. I walked in on the ending, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so
that was crazy.
So essentially, she just brought him back down into the lake, and then that was literally it.
Well, she didn't.
Her dad,
I need to know what the fuck is up with the dad.
He died. She killed him in the beginning.
So
she didn't know she had telekinetic powers, and then he was on the pier on Crystal Lake.
So did her powers resurrect him?
That's what I don't know.
Or is the lake enchanted or some shit? I swear if they do some shit like that, I'll be dead. Dude.
But apparently electricity is what keeps bringing them back.
So get in the lake and then get electrocuted.
Yes. So the first time he was electrocuted was when the rod was through his chest. And then the second time they dropped the anchor on a giant electrical wiring, that was an underground water wiring that got cut, and then it hit him, and then it woke him up, so he broke the chains and then walked out the water. But understand that when she killed her dad with her telekinetic powers, she didn't know she had. So it was Crystal Lake, but he was still under there.
Okay.
But of course he didn't move.
He didn't move.
No.
That's weird as hell.
Yeah, but when the electricity hit him, then that's when that happened. But yeah, man.
Where's Jason? He got him. Credits roll.
Credits roll.
That was nuts.
We got to experience the meme. That nigga came out the water like Jason.
No, that was crazy.
He did it twice.
That was iconic. Jason was just coming out the water like Jaws, bro. That was crazy.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Came out the water and drug you down, man. It was nuts.
That was crazy.
It was nuts.
No, we're halfway through Manhattan.
Yes.
That man said fuck doors. Jason said fuck doors. This man was just walking through everything. And you always think, oh yeah, maybe like if a big dude challenges him.
And a big dude.
And the biggest dude in the freaking
diner
just walks up to Jason. Jason picks this guy up and throws him like 10 yards, bro. That shit was crazy.
Nah, but he really started teleporting in Manhattan.
That was crazy. Yeah.
In the last,
they would get like a mile away from him. So like when they escaped the cruise ship, boated all the way back to the shore, Jason was still on the cruise ship.
Yep. They
get to shore and then
he's right there.
There.
Another scene too was when they were at the house. The girl with the telekinetic powers. They're at the house. They get into the car. They drive out into the road, and where's he standing? right in front of him. Exactly.
I think that's why they did that whole telekinetic. They wanted to add that supernatural element to it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Right.
In order to get where they were going now, they needed to add a supernatural element to it.
Be like, hey, it's bigger than just this guy's a zombie.
Well, like, because if scientists get involved or a doctor, there's no way a man, doesn't matter how big he is, can keep surviving this much without this, that, and the other. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So they try to add a supernatural element to it, which is, yes, he did die, but he came back. Mm-hmm. Now that he's back, he is now essentially unbeatable. Because now he was not only super strong before he died. Now, if you shoot him, nothing happens. So they just added super strength on to being immune to getting shot or actually dying.
Here's the thing now, too, because, like, in the recent one that we're watching, Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Just in the beginning alone, it's like, it's almost as if it's a possession, right?
It is, yeah.
Because his heart continued to beat as the coroner was doing the autopsy and, like, kind of figuring out, writing everything that happened to him.
Essentially, that's what they're saying, that his heart...
He's like a spirit at this point.
So it'll just... somebody will consume his heart and their body will turn.
He will morph into Jason?
Slowly. Still gain the strength, still have the strength, all that, and the power, but he'll slowly...
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're going to anamorph into Jason.
Oh, yeah.
That's different. Yeah, that's different. Like, at that point, you've just left...
the realm of humans.
Yes. Yeah, you're...
So it's like, how do you...
But that's what I'm saying. If Blumhouse is going to go that route, that's the perfect studio to do that.
Because they have 10 films to go off of.
Word.
And that's something that they'll probably do. And that's why it was funny when Jason X happened and they're like, oh, the Earth is gone and everyone's leaving and we're just scavenging. Oh, this is ancient. They picked up... Oh, nuts.
That's nuts. Hold on. Wait, you got all this tech. You're in the future. And that's crazy.
And they still couldn't fix his face.
Oh, Jason. Yeah, that was crazy. No, it would have been cool if, like, the nanites covered his whole body, but it only did, like...
Half.
And then it turned his machete into, like, I don't know, some crazy-ass shit, bro. It's like a lightsaber or something.
No, I feel it, man. I feel it. But, like I said, dude, it's... I like the film. What I think they could have done better is focus on a main character, which they started doing.
Word.
But on top of that, less sex. Because it's like every time I was getting into the story, my mind shut off as soon as they started saying, oh, let's go skinny dipping. Oh, let's have sex. Oh, let's do this. And all they wanted to do is have sex. I'm like, bruh.
Was it Morbius? Have sex. Have sex. Oh, man.
No, I like I said, man, I get it, man. I enjoy watching classic films, but I also don't enjoy the stupidity of certain classic films.
Was just...
And it's like...
I think all of that ended, like, the peak of that was, like, ended with Freddy versus Jason type shit.
Yeah, because even in the early 2000s, it was literally all these horror films were rated R because, like, when they remade Freddy Krueger too, it was nothing but sex, and it's like it's
and then like the gore and hyper violence was just
that's when that started.
Peak that shit.
You'll get a nipple here,
that
a
was
boob
crazy.
there. But
I'll never forget.
Yeah,
when they decided to have sex in that friggin', I love that's how every scene starts. They decided to have sex in like this abandoned home or something like that.
That's fucking weird.
And then Jason just teleports in there, I guess, and just like shish kebabs him through the bed, and then lifts up the bed and then folds that shit. I'm like, damn, bro, that shit was crazy.
He didn't even wait for it, or when shish kebabs the dude. The chick escapes into the woods and then hides behind the tree.
Oh,
he was all the way back there.
He was all the way bam,
teleported. He skewered
her right through the tree. That was crazy. That was crazy.
I'm like, that's nuts. That's just
nuts.
dumb strength
that
now.
Was dumb.
That's just stupid.
It's just
strength.
unfair at that point.
Because remember in Freddy versus Jason, Jason's like, I'm losing my power because everyone forgets me, and if no one remembers me, I disappear. The only way I can stay is if there's fear. So he resurrected Jason. He went to hell, got Jason's soul out of hell, and says, I need you to come back. They can't forget about me. Blah, blah, blah. I need to come back.
Crazy.
So he resurrected Jason to put fear back into them so Freddy can come in.
Back.
And if they're if they're scared awake, then they're going to be frightened sleeping. So that gives him the leverage and the power.
That's crazy.
Oh, you don't remember the movie?
Barely, dude. Yeah. It was like I was in 3rd grade when that movie dropped.
Yeah, we can rewatch it, but yeah, that was literally it. Freddy didn't want people to forget about him because nobody was afraid of Freddy anymore. Because even when he would jump into their dream, oh, you're Freddy, whatever.
All right, bye.
And then he couldn't slash them. He literally.
Oh, really? He'd like phase through them.
He phased through them, couldn't slash them. And then he's like, people are forgetting about me. They cannot forget.
Wow.
So he brought back Jason. To make them remember him. Yes. And then
remember me.
And then he couldn't, and he made a mistake in bringing back Jason because Jason was killing too many people, so they can't go to sleep for him to kill them.
So he had to take out Jason.
Yep.
That's crazy. So. The scenes I remember was when Freddy jumped into his dream, drowned him, and they had him in the back of the hospital. The paddy wagon. The not the paddy wagon. The paddy wagon's a cop.
The ambulance.
The ambulance. And the
water was just
was just gushing out of his mouth.
They had to bring him back to life because in order to bring him back to life, they need a grab. They need a grip onto Freddy Krueger. Wow. So what they did was they took adrenaline shots and stuck it into Jason, and then the person that was also in the dream had Freddy too. So they grabbed Freddy and they adrenaline her. She escaped out with him. And that's when that's when they had to fight each other.
Yeah, that was crazy. Freddy versus Jason. That was lit.
Yeah, so it's like, because like I said, they ran out of ideas and they're like, oh, this is the final, but then they kept coming back more. And then they came out.
Milk it.
And then they came out with Jason X, but it was shitty. So people are like, all right, let's do something. Let's put them in the same universe. They are in the same universe.
Yeah, they are.
So might as well put them in the same universe. And it was
Wait, I didn't understand the ending of Jason X, right? Because they're in the future, right? Okay, so
remind me.
Everyone dies in the ship. Literally, everyone dies because you're in space. You can't go nowhere.
There's nowhere you can go.
Yeah. And then Jason falls through the atmosphere. The nanites keep him alive, and he lands right back into Camp Crystal Lake,
where he can rest.
But then there was people.
Really? I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, like near the end. Yeah, it was like some weird ass shit. I don't know. Now you got like super mega Ultron Jason.
No, I feel it.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. They should invite him to like Marvel Comics or some shit. Like,
the Unbeatable.
The Unbeatable. That'd be crazy. But the thing that kind of made me think about like the whole teleporting thing, which they ended up making canon with the Friday the 13th
video game that came out last year, yes.
Because everyone always wanted to know, like,
how does Jason get to where he gets?
How does this 250, 70-pound motherfucker
keep appearing? And all he does is walk.
And he just walks, bro. And he just stares at where you're going. And then once you turn around, or not even turn around, sometimes he will appear right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? He's just there. So, I don't know. I think that's his, like, as a supernatural murderer, I think Jason's, like, the perfect.
Yes, yeah.
Just,
he's immune to bullets. He's immune to most physical objects. Well, they blew his ass up, but his heart survived. Right. So all they did was transfer his soul into a different body. Which is what the guy was saying in the beginning. He's like, he's not dead. His soul is just going to transfer to a different body, and he'll continue to be Jason.
So is it no competition, Jason versus Michael?
I want to see that.
I want to see that so bad.
So are we talking about human Jason? With
Oh,
human?
bro, Michael is not human anymore either. Like, what are we talking about, bro? We literally seen this man get blasted to smithereens
And stand right
and
back
just
up.
stand there
Stand right back
and
up.
just bullet sponge the fuck out of them,
Yeah.
bro. That was crazy to me. So we already know Michael's not human, but he doesn't have like them teleporting powers.
No.
That I think that's where Jason has the one up on him. Because I
Yes.
think like the fight, if it's close combat, it's gonna be just like straight melee. I'm gonna pick you up, smash you through.
Yeah.
Kind of like Hobbs versus Dom.
The Hobbs versus Dom. Or yeah, or what's the name of that? Terminator 3.
Oh
or
yeah,
Terminator Judgment Day.
Judgment.
God.
Damn. Or no. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Yes.
When him and the
chick.
the hybrid chick were
Yeah.
just throwing, like smashing vans and like fire trucks and cranes into each other. Nah. Vic says that's because Jason a G, and if you really think about it, he's Mr. Nevercracker from Monsters House. Get off my lawn. Oh, bro. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn. What the fuck? Get off my lake.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's like, get out my lake, bro. No, I love that shit. Jason is like the perfect
Perfect serial killer.
killer.
Yeah.
Supernatural murderer or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like I said, I would want to be in Jason's vicinity before he gets his teleporting powers, because at that point you can't really escape him. There's no point.
No, there's one guy I would want to be.
Who?
Which is the guy from Jason Goes to Manhattan, where they're in the alley, and while Jason's murdering everyone, he decides to, I don't know, do something, and then Jason comes to him and just gets his head and smacks it into a pipe. That was it.
Oh yeah. That was the easiest death ever.
I don't even think he died. That's like what, grade 3 concussion or something like that. You know, you're in a coma. You know, but you're not dead.
You wake up in 10 years.
You'll wake up in 10 years
Oh,
and be
man.
like, "Thank you, Jason, for sparing me."
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? You can have your Jason shrine. You know.
Frontal lobe completely gone.
What the fuck? Absolutely, you're done. You're done.
Oh
What the
man,
fuck?
you know how strong that pipe is, Jeff.
No, that's crazy. Pause.
You what?
That's crazy. That's
Oh,
crazy.
shit.
Ah.
Oh man, dude, bruh,
Oh, man.
it's nuts. But like I said, dude, I would want pre-teleportation Jason, because like I said, that black kid that went up the roof and started.
Oh, he's like, start boxing that guy. Bam, bam, bam.
That reminds
and then
me-
he's like, okay then, come on, give me your best shot. And Jason cocked way the fuck back. And rock'em sock'em this shit off. Boy, you just saw his head fall off the freaking building.
Yeah,
I'm like,
shit.
damn, that's tough.
Yep.
That's tough, man.
And then find out his head's in the police vehicle. Grabs the police officer down the alley. They get in the car, drive away, and he teleports right in front of
right
him.
in front of him.
I'm like, bruh. that
I
man's
need to
broke.
see what Blumhouse can do. I
Yeah.
need this man to be a literal god.
Yeah.
Not a god, but a literal demon.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
yeah,
I'm
because Blumhouse has done.
Like, we need final boss status for Jason.
Yeah.
Because Jason is achieving that level. On some final boss shit.
Nah, I feel it, man. I feel
Even blowing this guy up, he'll just possess someone else. And then they'll morph into Jason. That's crazy to me.
it. Yeah.
That's different. It's almost like Chucky, kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it is kind of like Chucky.
What do you mean?
Like, because even though it's an inanimate object, because it's like possession.
It is, because your soul is technically tied to
Right. Right.
So,
It's like possession.
whatever it's tied to, it will become it. That's why it made sense when they said, when that dude ate his heart.
Ate his heart, he became
he-
Jason.
Yes.
Black Jason. More athletic. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's crazy.
Too funny.
But,
What would you say your favorite film is, just to wrap it up?
my favorite Jason film? I think because of my super awesome Mega X brain from the 90s, I love Jason X. It was just so cool.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was like space, and you took a really cool character
Mhm.
and then made him even cooler
Yeah.
by merging him with tech. So I really it was just so cool.
You dig it. You dig
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
so it's such a 90s thing. Jason X, you know? Like Jason 2000 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. That was my favorite one.
That's good. That's what's up, man.
That was my favorite
But,
one.
yeah, man. I would say, for me, 4. 4 was the best because that was actually the beginning of we have a main character, we have a story. There's kind of less sex because there was a kid involved and all that stuff like that. And then of course the next one even more. So they started getting really the sex part of it, and then
actually developing a plot line,
a story. And then it wasn't like Evil Dead where 1 and 2, like towards the end they'll leave it as a cliffhanger, but then you watch the next one and it was like completely weird and different. Like it wouldn't make any sense. It's like they didn't continue on from the last one. They just started a new plot point at the beginning of the next one, so it didn't make any sense. But this one literally just continues off literally after the previous film. So that's what I liked best about it. But I would say 4 would be the best ones because that's when they started having like a main character and then who they had to survive. So you already automatically knew somebody else would everybody else is gonna die. But if somebody survived, then you're like, oh shit. That's awesome. That's something good. New. That's something different. So it's Jeepers Creepers 2 for me.
So Vic says, if you had to choose a movie besides the Final Destination movies, which one messed with you the most? It's Jeepers Creepers 2 for me. This day, this day, I always look up to make sure bruh ain't there. Don't judge.
You
me.
already asked us about the Final Destination. For you, it was the roller coaster.
No, he said besides Final Destination. Like, what other movies messed you up?
For me, it was Chucky.
Like, how deep down the rabbit hole of these type of movies are we going? Because if you say me, I'd just probably say Human Centipede. You know, every Saw movie ever. I couldn't do that.
With Jeepers Creepers 2.
No, Jeepers Creepers did fuck me up.
Well, with Jeepers Creepers, if you didn't have any fear or something like that inside you, then
that's different. Like, if I haven't seen it before.
Well, because in the first one, no, that was the second one. In the second one, Jeepers Creepers 2, when it was the bus with the high school students.
Yeah, the high school students.
All the students were afraid.
Right.
But it smells something else. That's the thing. All the students, because that's why it would sniff and then it'd move its eyes and say move over. Right. All of them were scared.
Like maybe it was the most afraid. Like whoever was the most afraid had the best flavor.
Exactly.
Like that.
And on top of that, if you survive the night, you got 23 years to do whatever the fuck you want.
You're chilling. No,
yeah.
That's facts.
So
that's facts. All you had to do was survive. What, 8 hours? Because it's 8 hours till sunrise, ain't it?
Yeah.
Or is it 12 hours till sunrise?
Well, I don't know how long they were stuck.
I'm pretty sure, it's 12 hours till sunrise.
Because from midnight 12 a.m. to 11:59 the next of that day is how long he's going to be there.
Oh, so it's like a full day, not like 23 sunrise.
Years. One day, 23 years.
Gotcha. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers was crazy to me.
Yeah.
That was a crazy.
So that's what I would say. I would say, yeah, everybody was afraid of Jeepers Creepers. It was just there's a specific fear that somebody had that it would come after them for.
Right.
So that's what I would say. Because I was watching the first one and I'm like, the first one was so off from the second one, but the first one it was just the brother and sister. He ended up going after the brother, but that's because the brother had a fear of it way before. Yeah. So.
Like he was already scared of.
Exactly, before he even knew what it was.
I feel that.
So, I think that's why he came after it. But, for me, like I said, it was Chucky back in the day, but as an adult now, I understand what it did. Because, like I said, I would hide all the dolls. Because I'd always think they'd be coming alive. But that fucked me up as a kid. I would say now I'm fine, because, of course, I have the entire collection.
I feel that.
On Blu-ray, so I'm good with that.
I feel that.
Well, it's like. The thing I think everybody lacked was spatial awareness. Is that what you call it?
Right. Like they didn't take into account what was happening around them. There were two in their own brains.
And it was crazy because I wanted to understand. Like I went a little bit deep, and I'm like I wanted to understand why people screamed. And apparently, a study from the 1990s found out that the reason why people scream is 1, so other people can be aware, and 2, so you can be self-aware.
Wake
yourself up from the fear of whatever of whatever is happening, so you can make yourself aware, so you can figure out what to do in that situation. Some people will go into full-blown breakdown mode and just die, and others will literally
that one chick on the slingshot.
Yes, like that. Like she would scream and then she
that was crazy. Reminded me of them little goats. Every time they get scared, they're like,
you're like,
and then they pass out.
And then they're like, and
then they just pass out.
They just pass out.
That's a great defense mechanism. I don't care whatever you say. At least I won't know I'm dying or I'm dead.
So
you feel me?
So for me, that would be one of them. But other than that, that's I think that's what we'll lead with. But yeah, man. So this is like our first Friday the 13th episode. This is gonna be like the next Halloween episode.
Word? No, I feel that.
Yeah, so
I feel that.
Kind of wanted to just do that because I know we didn't do that last year, but last year there was no Friday the 13th.
There was no Friday the 13th.
In October. Yeah, so
it's just
yeah, so that's perfect. So yeah, we're releasing it today on the 12th, but it's also for people to watch later on, and it's also because of tomorrow's Friday the 13th. But any last words, sir, before we end off this Friday the 13th Halloween episode?
I'm really looking forward to the rest of the month, so that's gonna be fun.
Wake up!
Got a surprise for you guys, so look forward to that. But you can take us home.
Guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. I watched all the Jason movies, so you guys didn't have to, and kind of just gave you my perspective on certain things of the film. And of course, again, besides the sex, the movie would be very good if they would just focus on the main character and of course Jason Voorhees, the plot and all that stuff like that. Not throw that away just because people want to see some titties. Not everybody wants to see them, but thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. If you want to catch and watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the links, it'll take you directly to the episodes. And of course, we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course, leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. You have a good night, weekend, evening, and day, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See ya.
He said nerd.